That's where we find meteorologist Mike Seidel. He's in Central City, Colorado. All right, Mike, we can see the snow behind you. The point I made at the beginning of the show, which is this may be setting a milestone for you. How high in elevation are you?
Well, it wasn't today. It was a couple of days ago. Yes, highest live shot I've ever done. And I think about the second highest I've been, in person. I've been on Pikes Peak. That's over 14. But, Jen, on Monday, we were up at Berthoud Pass, 11,300. And I can tell you the air is pretty thin up there. You've been up pretty high, haven't you? You've been up that high, haven't you?
Yeah, 9,000, but not that high. So, yeah, you need to take a couple extra breaks. You can feel it when you're up at elevation.
Yeah, at 11,000 and change, you're using, you have about 35% less oxygen. But look at this vista, Jen. What do you think? You and Alex, as we look over the valley, we're in Central City, Colorado. Isn't this just beautiful? We had 4 to 5 inches of snow. It's wet snow. In fact, the temperature right now is 34 degrees. So the roads are fine. I-70 is fine. There's been a smattering of schools closed or delayed up and down the Front Range and up in the foothills. Highest total I've seen so far is near Conifer. That's kind of off the beaten path south of I-70. They've had a little over 10 inches. Genesee, which is right on 70, not far from Denver, but again up above 7,000 feet, picked up so far 7.5 inches. I say so far. There's still a few snow showers out there. We're looking down the valley, or maybe a few flakes coming down, but for all intents and purposes, the accumulating snow has ended here. Now, if you go south and west of Pueblo, those areas, we still have a winter storm warning till 3 o'clock where they could get a few more inches of snow. So a good snowfall, certainly not crippling. All rain in Denver. It's 40 this morning at DIA. Airport is fine. They've had a few cancellations, but I think most of those are planes that didn't get in yesterday. They had some severe weather. In fact, yesterday they spotted a tornado from the airport, from the field, off to the east and northeast out there in Weld County. So today the sun will break out, and again, keep in mind the sun angle. Temperature's already above freezing, so as a result, no issues on the roadways mid to late morning, and then we warm up tomorrow in the foothills into the 60s and into the 40s to near 50 here. And then as we get into the weekend, Jen and Alex, what a great ski weekend. We've had so much snow this winter. Many ski resorts are staying open later than they've seen in years, and many of the resorts are open 9 to 4 or 9 to 5 during the week and on the weekend. So make those plans accordingly. Don't forget the sunscreen. With the altitude and the sun angle and the sun coming off the snow, guys, it's the perfect prescription for a really bad sunburn up here in the Rockies this time of the year.
That's a great point, Mike. And your view is just absolutely stunning. We're looking at you, and especially when you pan out and you see everything. That could have been a green screen with the face behind you. I mean, it's absolutely unreal beautiful.
Yeah, I'm not really in Central City. I'm in my basement in North Georgia.
It is so beautiful. Wow. I'm glad you're there. Thank you so much for sharing it with us. We'll be checking back in with Mike.
Yeah, amazing, right?
Yeah.
Amazing, amazing. Our meteorologist, Mike Seidel, live in Central City as snow and rain continue to fall. Mike, you can go ahead and drop the act. Get rid of the green screen and show us where you really are.
Okay, let me get rid of this.
I know,
I'm actually here. I'm actually here. Hey, you're speaking of snow melt. This is all going to melt eventually. Now, on this side of the divide, the water ends up in the Gulf of Mexico, down through the Missouri River and the Mississippi into the Gulf. On the other side of the divide, that's the water, the snow that melts, that ends up in the Colorado River. That is what we look at for the water getting into Lake Mead and ends up in the farming communities of the Central Valley of California, which is going to get really hot in the next 3 or 4 days. But what I wanted to mention is the fact that the snow is also a good thing for the drought. Basically, the mountains are fine. It's the Front Range and east where they still have a drought, some stage of a drought. And also, it keeps down the fire danger for at least a while. So we'll keep our fingers crossed. We may still get some more snow. We were up here in the foothills last May, and we had 10 inches on May 20th and 21st. So it can snow in May. This is not that unusual. Getting towards Memorial Day becomes more unusual. Let's take a look at the vista, because who wants to look at this? yours truly. Let's look at the mountains and the hills above Central City, Colorado, not far from Denver. You have 45 minutes up here. And at elevation, 8,500 feet versus a mile up in Denver. That makes all the difference in the world. About 40 now DIA. Temperature here now 32, just above 32 on the Kestrel thermometer. And we'll pan around and show you not only downtown Central City, but we'll head over towards where the sun is trying to break through the overcast. And as you can see, it hasn't. We're still getting a few little flakes up here, but what a beautiful vista. I mean, this is just an incredible shot. We've got about 4 to 5 inches of snow up here, Jen and Alex. The top total near Conifer, that's well south of 70. They've got 10. Genesee has had 7.5, and Evergreen, not far from the interstate, has had 3.5. Those are the only updates we've had with the morning observations. We haven't had a lot of reports so far, but that gives you an idea of what we've seen here in the foothills. It was all rain down in the Front Range and severe weather.
Yeah, that tornado report that they saw, or landspout from the Denver airport. So everything. Mike Seidel, thank you. We're going to check back in with you. And that's where we find meteorologist Mike Seidel. He's in Central City, Colorado. Mike, what did it look like before you got there? And just go back to Monday even. There was kind of old snow around everywhere?
Well, in the foothills, there's not a whole lot of snow. You had to look up on the ridge tops and then in the mountains where you get above about 9,000, 10,000 feet. And we went up to Berthoud Pass, which is over 11,000 feet. And by the way, they had 62 inches of snow a couple of days ago, and the liquid equivalent, 19 inches of water. So there's a lot of water up in these mountains and hills that will end up in the rivers and tributaries, eventually into the Gulf of Mexico and down through the Colorado River and into Arizona and California as we roll through the warmer months of the year. Right now, temperatures right around freezing, maybe a degree or two above. The roads are fine this morning. No snow down in Denver, so that's a no-brainer as far as impacts. The airport's fine. I want to take a walk down the road. This is going to be beautiful. Just join me as we pan down the roadway ahead of me and take a look at the vista. Now we're looking down towards Blackhawk. That's kind of the sister city to Central City. Central City has been around for years. Blackhawk has really been boomed, has really seen a boom over the past 15 to 20 years with gambling. But look at that shot. And, you know, the snow's sticking to everything because it fell with temperatures around freezing or above. In fact, when it started snowing yesterday, it was 36 to 37 degrees. So just some pretty pictures up here. And by the way, notice, if you're watching from most of the country, you probably have leaves on your trees. In fact, for my backyard, I've got a full canopy in North Georgia. Nothing showing anything, not even any buds yet. But give it another 2 or 3 weeks and things will green up here in the foothills. They've had plenty of moisture. The mountains have had a lot of snowfall this season. Even Denver's had average snowfall. They're at 60 inches, right around 60. That's just a few inches below what they typically see. So a good snowfall season. Ski resorts, many of those are still open, Alex and Jen, basically every day from 9 to 4 to 9 to 5. And this coming weekend, some bluebird skiing with temperatures in Denver around 70, up in the mountains around 50. Don't forget, lots of sunscreen, sun angle, reflection, the thinner air, all the perfect prescription for a really bad burn. So I'm sure the skiers know that this time of the year you can get sunburn very quickly anywhere really in the U.S., but more so when you have the reflection off the sun and you're up here at thousands of feet above sea level.
And not only do you get a sunburn, but you get that goggle tan. So it's not like sunglasses. It's like a big, you know, ring around your forehead and face.
Remember that commercial a few years ago where the guy said he was working, he was on his phone on the beach, and he went back to work and had the sunglass tan?
It'll give it away. Mike Seidel, thank you.
Right.
We'll know if you come back with that tan, what you were doing after the segment today.
Hello, meteorologist Mike Seidel, live in Central City as snow and rain continue to fall there. Although, Mike, seems like a lot of the activity is kind of wound down there for you there in Central City, but it is a winter wonderland behind you.
And Alex and Jen, ask you a question. I'm thinking about the bluest skies you ever see. I know tropical atmospheres are very blue, but I got to think that when you're in the mountains and this time of the year, the air is getting drier, and also the fact that we have elevation and we're thinner and less atmosphere to look through. You got to think this is about as blue as you see the sky. What do you think?
Oh, yeah.
Oh. Yeah.
I do think mountain skies are the most blue, more than tropical, because it's it's a cleaner air. You don't have the little particles of either sea spray or, moisture.
Haze. Pollution, smog, particulates, anything.
All of that.
That lowers. Yeah, and so now we're starting to see the sun trying to poke through. Temperatures 36 here. We've had 5 inches of snow right here, 4 to 5 inches here in Central City and down the valley, just a mile or so down the valley in Blackhawk. Haven't seen many updates from NWS Boulder. We did get the 10-inch report from Conifer. That is south of here and south of I-70. Then you go a little north, you've got Evergreen at 3.5 and Genesee right on 70. Once you come up the incline above 7,000 feet, and they've had 7.5 inches of snow. We're only 40 miles from downtown Denver. Temperatures at DIA right now at 40 degrees. No airport impacts. They had some rain. They had some severe yesterday. In fact, they saw that, they reported a tornado on their ob, but it turned out to be a landspout looking off towards the north and east. Today, it's going to be a Bluebell skiing day. Remember, a lot of ski resorts are open because there's been so much snow this winter. You're talking about Aspen, over 400 inches of snow, more than 100 inches above average. And the ski resorts that are open, by and large, their hours are 9 to 4 or 9 to 5 every day of the week. And we've got a Bluebird weekend coming up here in the Front Range and up in the mountains. Jen and Alex, temperatures will be probably around 50. Don't forget the sunscreen, and you'll be fine and just enjoy the spring skiing. And we'll see if we get any more snow. We were up here, specifically at Winter Park, the weekend before Memorial Day last year, and we had 10 inches of snow. So this is not that unusual, but when it starts to accumulate in 6 to 12-inch fashion, towards the end of May, that becomes a little bit more unusual. But again, great for the drought, great for the fire danger, and the water on the other side of the divide will end up, well, a lot of it will end up down in the Colorado River.
Yeah. No, I mean, this has been just a stellar year for the West when it comes to mountain snowpack. Mike Seidel, thank you for that. Yeah, I'll give you a little tip for what the skiers do when the resorts aren't open. They put skins on the bottom of their skis and they hike up and then they ski down.
Oh, look at that.
Look at that.
Look at that little trick. All right, good stuff.
That's a good workout.
Yeah, I bet it is.
That's where we find Mike Seidel in Central City, Colorado, known as the Hidden Gem. Mike, your view has just been absolutely stunning. But now that the sun has been up for a little bit, is it getting kind of melty and soft out there?
Yeah, we're starting to see it now fall off the trees a little bit. It's not just rapidly falling off the trees. Roads have been fine all morning. That's not been an issue. So if you're trying to get up 70 to a ski resort, because so many are still open, basically weekdays 9 to 4, check ahead with your ski resort. This is the view looking down into Central City. You can see the asphalt. So the roads are fine. It barely got down to freezing last night with the snow. We've got 4 or 5 inches here. The highest total we've seen is in Genesee on the I-70 corridor. They've had 7.5, and then south of there, out there in the more rural area, Conifer's had about 10 inches of snow. Let's look off this way. It's going to be a very bright shot looking down the valley towards Blackhawk, the sister city, a younger city versus Central City, which has been here for years and years, since the 1800s. But just a pretty picture as the sun breaks out. And temperatures down in Denver today will be in the upper 50s. They got in the low 60s yesterday, dropped down to 40 this morning. It was all about rain and severe weather in the Front Range from there all the way down towards the Springs and Pueblo. The warnings have been dropped. They were dropped overnight here. In fact, I looked about 4 or 5 a.m. and everything was dropped as we just had some leftover snow showers and snowflakes like we had earlier. So today, a beautiful day. If you're going to be skiing, snow will be melting as we often see in April and May because of the sun angle and temperatures being above freezing. So we will have a good day for driving, obviously. There was a scattering of schools and closed, I should say, closed or opening on a delayed basis in the front, I should say, in the foothills here in Colorado. So maybe a little bit of snow more on Thursday, certainly in the evening, overnight, the higher elevations, not expecting this much. And then as we go into the weekend, it's going to be a sunny, mild weekend. Very, very nice down in Denver, the Front Range, near 70, up at the ski resorts, about 50. And so some good Bluebird skiing ahead. And remember, the beneficial impacts here, all beneficial basically, keeps the drought down. In fact, the mountains are in pretty good shape on the drought monitor. We'll get another update tomorrow morning. And it also keeps the fire danger down, and eventually the snow on the west side of the divide will go into the Colorado River, Alex, and then into Lake Mead. We'll see if the lake comes up in the next 3 or 4 months. The snow on this side ends up in the Gulf of Mexico. So just enjoying the vistas out here this morning here in Central City, up here in Gilpin County. We're only 40 miles west of downtown Denver. It's all about the elevation. 5280 there, 8,500 feet here.
Yeah, makes a big difference. It's so beautiful, Mike. We just keep ogling over that background.
Yeah, we're like, this is what it's about. I'm sure the folks there are probably tired of seeing that snow, but from our vantage point right now, it's gorgeous.
Well, I talked to a family the other day, and they were at the hotel at DIA at the airport, and I said, where are you from? They said, Aspen. I said, where are you going? They went, Maui. I said, well, that's nice. They said, we just had to get out of the snow. I mean, they don't live there year-round, but after you get 400 inches of snow, after a while, you like the snow, but you just want to see maybe some green. By the way, up here, compared to most spots in the country, no green. I don't see any buds, certainly no leaves on the trees. So the season is later up here in these elevations.
I can see why that family needed a break. It's been a long winter, but it is still beautiful. Mike, thank you for sharing it.
Well, our own meteorologist Mike Seidel live in Central City. And Mike, it's like a postcard here for you. I always wonder, Mike, when we get to this time of the year, you cover storms, so many storms throughout the year. When do you kind of get to the point of, okay, I'm done dealing with winter weather?
Let me see. About 2 minutes ago. No,
well, that view, Mike.
I'm just kidding. No, I'm fine. This has been what some people would say, is this work? Not as hard as we've worked over the years. Hurricanes, blizzards, you know that, Jen. But we woke up this morning, let's go up here on the hillside. Chris Erickson said he had a great shot. And just look at this. And now the skies are clearing. It's a Bluebell skiing day. That's downtown Central City. It's been around since the 1800s. Temperatures now in the upper 30s, so snow is beginning to fall off the trees. Roads have never been an issue, and we just pan around, just let you soak up the atmosphere here for the snowstorm. We've only had really 3 snowfall reports outside of the one here, 4 to 5 that I measured from the Weather Service in Boulder that were taken after 7 a.m. We had the 10-inch total, that's the top total, down in Conifer. Along I-70, we had Genesee with 7.5, and then south of I-70 in Evergreen, they had 3.5. So that's it as far as totals. This is mostly the foothills and east-facing mountains of the Front Range storm. Down in the Front Range, Denver had rain, thunder, severe weather up and down the Front Range. We had warnings yesterday near Pueblo as I was in the snow here in Central City. We're only 40 miles from Denver. It's all about elevation, going from a mile up to 8,500 feet. It's all good. Good for the ski industry. The ski resorts, many are open later than they've been in years. Every day, basically 9 to 4, check their ski slope to make sure they're open and confirm their hours. This helps in the drought situation, although the mountains are doing very well because we've had so much snow this season. And it also, as you know, Alex and Jen, as long as you can keep moisture in this ground and across this area, it keeps the fire season at bay. So this is a win-win all around, especially if you think about the fact that Denver International wasn't impacted and the roads weren't impacted. What could you ask for in a storm like this? And these pictures. Wow.
I know. What more could you ask for?
I don't know if I want to get on a plane. I think, you could just stay here all summer. Because, you think about back east with humidity. Out here in the summer, it's so dry. It may hit 80 or 90 or even 95 in Denver, but it's such a dry heat, as they say, in the biz.
Well, it's kind of a dry cold, too. That's the thing. While it's usually cold, is not that cold out there. So I'm wondering, at 41 degrees, are you getting hot with your big jacket on?
Yeah, it's pretty warm, and that sun angle is high. We're like mid-August, so yes, I've got more layers than I need. Very comfortable out here. We're going to get into probably the mid-40s here today and upper 50s in Denver. So it warms up very quickly. This was not there's not an Arctic air mass involved. It was all about lift and creating that cold air with lift.
Yeah.
That's it. All right, Mike. Well, we'll know where Mike is going to be for the rest of the spring and summer.
We need to find him.
Exactly.
Yeah.